Hello, my dear friends, lovely folks. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with the ICTTV. Starting last week, the Chinese American Film Festival and the Chinese American Television Festival started its 14th anniversary, right? And with the opening ceremony, prior to that, with the welcome banquet, with the opening ceremony, with the film summit discussion, with the showcase of several films, the award-winning films, so on and so forth. Now we are exactly in the busy activities of the festival. So today with me is my good friend. He is, in addition to being a political commentator, he is also himself, you all know him, he is a director of Hollywood, founder and CEO of Monarax Hollywood Corporation. Sir, welcome to the show.
谢谢你老朋友. It's always a pleasure to see you.
All right, good. My pleasure and my team's pleasure too. So, you've been with all the activities, all the ceremonies of the Chinese American Film Festival and TV festivals. What's your impression?
First of all, we have to let the audience know that there is an inflation of film festivals around the world. Originally, there was the Cannes Film Festival, the Venice Film Festival, Berlin Festival, and a handful of others. Today we have about 4,000, more than 4,000 film festivals around the world. So my compliments go to you and EDI Media for being able to arrange 14 years in a row a festival which is of particular importance for the relationship of United States, and I should say Hollywood rather than United States, Hollywood and China, because the Chinese film market is booming and will soon, in the box office receipts, will soon exceed the box office receipts in the United States of America. And there are many opportunities. I remember when I first went to China in 1995, there was almost no cinemas in Beijing, and what those who were there, they were totally dilapidated, ugly, and not good looking inside. Today, China has the biggest amount of screens in the world, far outpassing America.
Yeah, because of population. If you think of a population.
Yeah, not only
of
that.
Of course.
But you see, in a few, it's just about 40 years that was achieved, because I was when I was there was 1995, and the cinema was awful. So this is quite an achievement, and you see, in so much competition, of course, the Chinese American Film Festival can call itself unique, because it's more or less the only one who cross-promotes Chinese and American movies. So therefore, my congratulations, Mr. Jack Chow. You're doing a very good job.
I'm only part of it. I do my part, okay. And I believe it's a teamwork, and it's also a collaboration of everybody involved, right? And in today's world, nobody can succeed alone. It is all everybody's efforts. It's a collaboration of efforts that made us so far. You mentioned about there are so many festivals, quote unquote, though. We proudly say that we are on top of the very few. We're the Chinese American Film Festival is the only one that has been recognized both by the Chinese government and by the U.S. government at all levels. At all levels.
Yeah.
take the opening ceremony along, not only do we have the Congress members attending, but also we have members from China, such as the General Consulate, to join. And at the market level, we have American Film Market Association, and we have the Chinese Film Distribution Organization all attending. And then down to another level, you're talking about the filmmakers. Not only do we have filmmakers such as my friend Chris Nibby, but there are more than 100 film groups attending. Right? So film-wise too, we have Chinese film, we have American film, domestic and foreign, all together, all mixed, right? So this is one thing. If I recall, 3 years ago, President Obama went to Beijing, met with President Xi Jinping. Both of them handpicked the ongoing programs at the grassroots level, at the people level. And the one they took is the Chinese American Film Festival. So that is really an elevation that speaks. Do you think so?
Yes, it's also an achievement because, and I have to hand it to your chairman, James Su, that he's doing a really good job, because I have been watching this now for several years, and it's getting better and better and better. It was also a very smart idea to use the Writers Guild Theater, because you see, if you want to attract Hollywood people, you have to have a venue which is located where Hollywood people are, namely in Beverly Hills. Another good idea is that basically yesterday started the American film market. So you are well in connection with the American film market, which is the only real independent film market in the world, which attracts thousands of buyers of films and connects, I would say that almost every filmmaking nation today is present at the American film market in Santa Monica at the Loews Theater. And this is good timing, because the Chinese, and there are a lot of Chinese exhibitors there trying to sell their films. So the idea of having the summit at the special summit, production summit, and for TV and film at the Writers Guild Theater, which is conveniently located in the middle of Beverly Hills, was a very good idea.
Especially the timing, talking about the timing though, when US and China at the higher level, they are busy fighting the tariff wars or trade war whatsoever. At the bottom, when people are concerned, well, we're getting even closer. We're getting even closer. If I quote from Congresswoman Grace Napolitano, she attended the film showcase of the 31st, which was 2 days ago in St. Gabriel Hilton, right? While taking pictures, Congresswoman she called. It was exactly her call. Let's get our hands together. They kind of, crossed way. Everybody holds everybody's hand. And you know what she says? They may fight their war. Let us keep hand in hand. Yeah. Right. What a statement. What a strong statement, right? They may fight their war. Let us keep hand in hand. So those pictures, I believe, people will see. Of course, she sent her recognition and congratulation letters and certificates. And that picture was very, very touching, with the hands, strong, right, like that. I like that.
Oh yes. very important because you see the person-to-person relationships are very important, and basically they're the engine who keeps the business going, you see.
You're right. You're right. All right. Okay, my dear friend, today with me is my beloved brother, Chris Nibby. He is a filmmaker himself. Not only is he a director, but he is a writer, screenwriter, and producer, and he does everything overall, the film. And he has a monument so high with 20 episodes already, the Mysterious China series. And by the way, he is recognized by other countries too. And with his permission, I'll check later. Well, I will announce by whom he is invited to do the same series too, because it is people to people that love each other, that put their hands together. They can achieve everything, right? Chinese American Film Festival and the Television Festival is exactly the festival that does the grassrooted connection by doing culture exchange using the media as film as a media. Am I right? So let's take a short moment out. We come back, we talk about the locations. Stay with us. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East West Show. Jack Chow is my name. I'm with the ICTTV, talking about the Chinese American Film / TV Festival, which is ongoing at this minute. Starting next week, or starting this weekend though, there's going to be films being screened in several of the local theaters. If you really want to see some Chinese film, though, of course, American films included, you may go online, ChineseAmericanFilmFestival.com, to find your own ticket, right? So the good films are worth seeing. For example, yesterday there was a film, opera film, the Shanghai Opera. Lots of people worried, well, they're using the different dialect, which is not commonly understood. Would the story be accepted? Well, it proven true, proven wrong. All the audiences, including myself, were touched where we were crying.
Where did you show it?
Crying.
Where did you show it?
Alhambra
at
and
Alhambra.
Edward
Yes, that's a very nice-
Renaissance Theater.
Yes.
Right, and the film title, I don't know how they translate it. If I were, I would do it in the woman with the shoulder pole. The woman with the shoulder pole. Right. It tells a story, very vivid story, about a woman all herself. And of course, I don't know if her husband died or not. She took the hardest job at that area, of those areas, because that is the only job that can make more money. Why? She has a son and a daughter going to school, right? What it was the job? The job is to carry a shoulder pole, to carry somebody's luggage or whatsoever, to go across the mountains. On the mountain path, the zigzagging path, well, so she's doing that. She's been doing that for 17 years. Finally, she put her son and her daughter to the #1 universities of China.
Bravo.
Bravo, right? And the hardships and everything, the story, the zigzagging scene, the plot, and everybody was touched.
Yes,
so
because
much.
you see, this is China. This is the real China. Because the China that is built on hardship, on perseverance, and making it happen.
You are making a very good point.
And this is the great strength of your nation. And if you look at it through history, it has been proven again and again. This is very simply, and Americans may not realize it, but the 21st century is the century of Asia under the guidance of China, and there's no doubt about it. I know a lot of Americans.
No, I don't want to say that. No, I don't want to say that, and I don't agree with that. All I do agree with you is that these are the parts that people are necessary to know, right? In order to understand China, and yet they do not know.
That's true.
Right.
That's
what they see China now is a little window that shows about the bridges, the highways, the sky-rise buildings, or everything. Those are modern technology, modern stuff.
Achievements.
Yeah, achievements. But back in the mountains, you do have people like this woman with a shoulder pole who exactly lives her life step by step in the hard way.
This is actually what I concentrate on also in my films.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why the Mysterious China series is so not only internationally acclaimed but gets so many awards, because it reaches the hearts and minds, because I'm showing the ordinary life in China, which has a very inherent beauty, because the country life is something very, very charming in a way, which you don't have here, because the country life in my home country, for example, farmers are very wealthy. They all drive Mercedes. I'm German, so they all drive Mercedes. Here they have all very big farms, and they have more or less industrial farming. In China, the farming is many times in the hands of farmers who have only very small plots of lands, and they are called poor because they are cash poor, but they're not poor like poor people in the slums of the West, because they do have a pig, they do have their chicken, and they do have their vegetables which they grow themselves, and they have a house. So it's a different kind of
And yet in lots of areas they don't.
Huh?
And yet in lots of areas they don't.
What do you mean?
They don't have a pig. They don't have a...
Wherever I have been, they had pigs and chicken and something.
You have only been to where they have pigs, right? And there are places where they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, now, okay, what I'm saying is that to desensitize the outside world with the fact that China is rising, right? China is rising, of course. I'm so happy about the fact that China is rising, right? But what people, the outside world, do not see is that China has a big package with her.
Of course.
Right? Big package. The big package being you have the rural areas, people are still living their lives in the hardest way. For example, this particular woman had to put had to put her daughter and the son in school by carrying a shoulder pole on, up and down, up and down, up and down, several times a day, doing the job, right? And the actress who was at the conference, special conference of talking about her experiences playing the role. She says, I use a shoulder pole, right? Of course, my shoulder pole of no weight, of very much less weight, right? Much less weight. I'm just showing, right? Okay. Even doing that, I have blisters on my shoulder. Think about that woman, that the actual woman carrying the pole, right? Now, China is rising, China is awakening, China is not that strong. It has a burden, huge burden, because it has lots of poor people to take care of. So don't worry about China getting stronger. Of course, we get a little stronger. That's okay, right? So I do this for the whole sole purpose to desensitize the rest of the world. So we're okay. And United States, China, United States, we are at the grassroots. We want people to prosper. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm actually very sorry that I was unable to attend that production summit on
Yeah, it was
Tuesday.
yesterday. Yeah.
No, on Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, there was a summit, yes.
Yeah, on Tuesday, because I was busy mixing the sound of my latest film, Ye Been Golden Gateway of the Yangtze River.
I see.
So I couldn't come. It was yesterday, there was another meeting, I didn't know about that.
Yesterday was the showcase for that film.
Oh, I see.
Of that film, right.
I see.
And lots of people attended. Mayor of Yorba Linda, Mr. Jin Hernandez was there. And candidate for Assemblyman
You should have told me.
Mike Simferduffer was there. I know that you were busy editing your film, so I didn't extend the invitation to you. Otherwise, I should have.
You should have.
I should have. No, I never forget things. I'm an elephant. I never forget things. Again, I've been talking about friendship. Yeah. Anyway, he's busy right now. He's doing the final cutting of his Yangtze River, the Ye Been River, Yangtze River.
No, it's called Ye Been Golden Gateway of the Yangtze River. Ye Been Golden Gateway.
Ye Been Golden Gateway of the Yangtze River.
Because Ye Been is the city where the Jinsha River and the Min River flow together, and they form the Yangtze River.
I see. You're talking about the very source.
Yes.
Very source, Ye Been. Right?
Ye Been, yeah.
Ye Been.
And the south of Sichuan province.
Where the Yangtze River starts.
Right. Because the Yangtze River starts because two rivers flow together and create the Yangtze River.
Well, okay. Anyway, otherwise you wouldn't have called it a gateway. That's a gateway. Right. Anyway, my dear friend, with my brother Chris Nibby, director of Hollywood, also political commentator, we're sharing about the momentum. Right now we're talking about we're exactly in the busy activities of the Chinese American Film Festival. Let's take a very short moment now. We come back to continue. Stay with us.
I'll talk about
Hello, dear friends. My lovely audiences, welcome back to the show. Jack Chow with the East West Show on ICT TV. Yes, the Chinese American Film Festival is celebrating its 14th anniversary together with the Chinese American Television Festival. It's been days now, ceremony after ceremony after ceremony. The welcome banquet attended by 1,000 people. Well, I never know when 1,000 people get together, eating together, and even the chewing sounds so loud. I'm kidding, right? Well, exactly. You got a full house. St. Gabriel Hilton, you get Hall B, A, B, C, D, all the way full of tables. Anyway. And the next day we had a film summit, which is one you missed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the next afternoon we have the opening of the the television festival. And the third day in the morning, Thursday we had the CAFF, Chinese American Film Festival opening in Ricardo Montalban of Hollywood. The theater is so small. It's too small though. It is a landmark. It is a landmark. We do it only for the purpose of the landmark to carry the name. Otherwise, it's too small the theater. Do you think so? You were there.
Yeah, it's okay. But I mean, if you can fill a bigger one, there are bigger ones.
Yeah, there are big ones. Next step is the Kodak Theater.
Yeah.
Well, without hesitation, Kodak.
No more Kodak. It's now Dolby. Kodak is bankrupt.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But there's another one which is very nice and also very nice for reception. It's at the Academy of Motion Picture and Science on Wilshire. That's very nice.
and somebody yesterday recommended to me that Cerrito Art Center. Do you know
but
there?
Cerrito is so far away. Nobody's going to go.
Nobody would go too far, huh?
Nobody's going to go.
All right,
You have to do it either in Hollywood or in Beverly Hills.
Or the surrounding, the
nobody
vicinities.
goes, no.
All right, good, very good.
Yeah, no.
And I'm talking about the fact. I really wish that. Oh, by the way, at the opening ceremony, you were on stage. You act as one of the presenters, right?
Yes.
All right. What award did you present?
Best documentary.
Best documentary. All right, good. And speaking of that, though, he himself has won several times of the Golden Angel Award.
Yes.
2 or 3?
4.
4. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So that's why I call it a monumental. Nobody gets it 4 times. Right.
So you see, there is also, which is not to be overlooked, there is an opportunity offering itself right now to independent thinking filmmakers who, because there is a possibility, unfortunately, you see, most of the Chinese films do not have much of an outside market except for some art film venues. They don't have much of an outside market except for China. Financially, this is fine, and if a film does well in China, the producer does not have to worry about profits. But it would be very nice to make films which have a market in both countries, and it would be nice to take advantage of the fact that actually production costs in China are cheaper than they are in Hollywood. The problem is how to create stories of so-called crossover movies. And we at Monorex have devoted our time for a couple of years now to develop screenplays which do have a market not only in China, but also in America and also around the world. Because once you can show a film in America, suppose you make a film in China, and the American distributor picks it up, having a distribution in America is like having the platinum card for the rest of the world, and you can sell your film everywhere, to Germany, to France, to Italy, everywhere.
Yeah, you're right, yes.
So we have developed 4 projects, and we are developing a 5th one. They are all films to be made in China, and with the intention to then have them distributed in America and in China, and hopefully, because the American business tradition is that an American distribution company will pay you an advance against distribution for a completed film. So the concept is, and the business plan is, that hopefully such a distribution advance guarantee exceeds the actual budget of the film which it costs in China. So the rest of the world would basically be for free. This is not it's very difficult because you see we have to bridge cultural differences, mentality, but I think we have succeeded. And I'm currently also developing a project of a film to made entirely in America. It is a story where a Chinese student girl meets an American and they fall in love, but she has to eventually return to China. And that's another story we are developing, and it's becoming a very...
You mean the Body Talk?
No. The Body Talk is a dance movie where a Chinese dancer falls in love with an American female dancer in Shanghai, and that's entirely filmed in Shanghai. This film is called One Night because a Chinese girl and an American young man meet in the evening and the afternoon, and then in the evening and the night, and then in the morning, without him knowing that that was her day of departure after having finished her studies in America. That's a very interesting.
Yeah. That was a short film several years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a short film several years ago. They tried all possibilities. I believe that was. Okay. Anyway,
our film is called One Night, and it is basically a remake of a film of a Chinese director Li Tao. I saw the film, and he's a very talented man as far as I'm concerned, and I said, let's do this as an American film.
Was in the team, is there anybody by the name of Ren, R-E-N?
No.
And among the actors, is there an actor named Scott?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
That was an American and Chinese girl?
Yes, exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
And she had to leave.
They fell in love, and that was her last day of her visa.
Huh.
And she has to leave.
How interesting.
Yeah.
And that was a short film.
That was a short.
I never heard about it.
That was a short about 3-4 years ago.
I see.
That indicates lots of people are thinking that way.
That's it.
Right?
But it's very difficult.
Those are phenomena so happen.
Yes.
So people think, well, I think that way, you think that way. Lots of people think of almost the same way.
Yeah, in our case, it's not a visa question. In our case, it's her studies are finished and she has to leave. She was booked to leave. She never realized that they would meet. And it was sort of a revelation with her because doing that one night, they not only exchanged, it was basically love at first sight, and they exchanged their profound views and cultural differences. Was that also in the short film?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes. Of course, it's a short, right?
Yeah.
When it's a short, you do not have the...
How short was it?
Yeah, you do not have the room to stretch.
How short was it?
It was about 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty long.
That's, well, yeah, I remember seeing it, and I do have that memory in mind.
So it must have been a well-made film.
I only forgot the name of it, but anyway, my dear friend, cross-culture is the theme now. And as I can see, it is quite necessary. It is absolutely necessary to do something in that area. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, I'll give you my take of the necessity of the cross-culture, crossover film. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with ICTTV. Today we're talking about the Chinese American Film/Television Festival on the 14th anniversary. To look back all the past 14 years so, we went from success to success, starting with the first Chinese American Film Festival when we had 9 submissions altogether, to right now you're talking about more than 5 submissions, 250 selected, and among the selected, you have several winners of all categories. That's really quite a big jump within 14 years, right?
You just said 5. You meant 500 submissions.
No, 500.
500 submissions.
500, yes. I said 5?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I had the unit in my mind. Okay, anyway.
But I'm here to protect you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Now, No, I said in the beginning 9 submissions, 9.
That was the first.
Yeah, first.
Yes.
To
And
right
today,
now 500
the
submissions.
280, they had 500 submissions.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of submissions. Okay, now, my friend Chris Nibby, Hollywood director, and he himself is a monument. He is my icon, and I respect him a lot. And I also respect his brain. He always thinks in advance. He always thinks in advance. Now he thinks again in advance, talking about it is time to do some crossover films, to do some cross-culture film, whichever way you may, but to let it cross. Okay, now, I do agree with you. I strongly agree with you. In my term, I describe the current situation is that Chinese writers write Chinese films and make Chinese films for the Chinese audiences. American writers does the same thing of the American story to the American audiences, right? How about, in my term, people, cross-cultured people, right? Cross-cultured writers write a cross-cultural story to make cross-cultural films for the cross-cultural audiences. How about that?
Yes, but you know, first of all, I'm happy that you understand it. I wish.
Of course I do.
I wish that you would be a billionaire and you would be able to invest in some of our films.
Oh, yeah?
Because we are looking for investment, and of course we are looking for investment in China, but it's difficult because many Chinese do not understand that. What they think is, we go to Warner Brothers or we go to Universal or Paramount and give them money and then let them do something.
Oh, yes, that's what they do now.
And that is wrong because they're attracted by these huge studios, and the huge studios are like a bottom, like a well without a bottom, and the money goes, and some films are a success, others are not. I'm talking about lesser budgeted films. For example, our films are budgeted under $10 million. The most expensive ones, there are 2 animated films. One is called Tiger Baby, another one is called, now I forgot.
What is that? Yeah.
The horse film. The horse film. It's called Courage. Courage. One is called Tiger Baby and one is called Courage. And they are animated films and they cost over $20 million each, but they also take 2 years to make, and there are hundreds of animators working on them. But all our live action films are around $10 million. So that is a pittance compared to the budget of Hollywood films, which range in the hundreds.
That I may, I'm very sorry to interrupt you. Before you go too far, that I may have a suggestion to make, right? Either 20 million or 10 million or in between. Those numbers are based on calculation of doing the films here.
No. They are the budgets in China. Here the films would cost
I'm
much
talking
more.
about base your budget back in China.
Yes.
With their labor cost.
It's cheaper.
With their energy cost.
Yes. That's what our budgets, which I mentioned right now, are all dollar numbers, but based on Chinese production costs. The same film here.
Based on China production costs of 20 million already?
Yes, the same film here would cost double or triple. Because here you have...
I may want to go different route.
Yes.
I may want to go different route. If I were you, I would do a short, right? And then sell the short to some investors to make it a full length.
No, this is...
step by step.
Yeah, no, that's not... That's
all right,
no.
Anyway. Okay, back to the point.
Yeah.
My whole point is that it is not that whose money you use, it is exactly what kind of film you use, you make, right? You make a film. You may use China's money, making an American film.
Yes.
That's not the case. What I'm talking about is that, for example, the show now, is my boss James Su's money, right? Okay, put it in here. You and I were doing a show of U.S. and Chinese and cross-cultured.
Right.
Are we crossing culture now? We
Yes,
are.
yes.
Right? So that could be the film.
That's
the
it.
model for the film.
And that's what I'm doing.
I'm talking about a film, a story with the native-born Americans, with the locally born Chinese or some Americans, or the latecomers all together mixed.
Taking place in China.
The story taking place here, or the story taking place in China, or the story taking place in both. That is the film we're talking about.
That's what we have. I just told you.
All right. Okay.
That's what we have. We have in all the films in America, there will be also American actors. And in the case of One Night, which we are right now developing, there is a Chinese director who will shoot this film entirely here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
No, I know what I'm doing. So the only thing is you have to, like always, you see, in our business, Jack, everybody knows everything and everybody knows nothing. Now, for example, after the success of Crazy Rich Asians, here in Hollywood, they have woken up to the concept, which I have already been preaching for a long time, that there is a market for, let's say, Asian films with an Asian cast made to Western taste.
You're right. And in addition, we have to point the one thing that karate films, the kung fu films, right, are so well accepted in the United States. Lots of people, you say Jackie Chan, they know Jackie Chan, right?
Yeah.
So now, when that can be accepted, we might ask something such as, why was it accepted?
Because it was completely different. You see, it was action completely different. It was an action which the Western audiences had not really seen. Because the Kung Fu is something which is a particular sport in Asia and especially in China. And the Kung Fu films which came out of Hong Kong from the Shaw Brothers, they were so different, but they were action films and people liked the action. And then there was another phenomena, which you might remember, the famous Chinese director Zhang Yimou. He made a film called Hero.
Hero, yes.
And you see, that film was one of the few films in American film history that played in its original Chinese version in mainstream American cinemas. And then came Li Ang with Hidden Dragon, what was it?
The Crouching Tiger.
Crouching Tiger.
Crouching Dragon, Hidden Tiger.
And the same thing happened also. That film played in its original Chinese version in mainstream theaters. This is unheard of because
the fact that I mentioned Chinese Kung Fu film is that I want to make a point. Why Kung Fu film, regardless of Shaolin Kung Fu or Taishan Kung Fu whatsoever, or Hong Kong Kung Fu, they are all well accepted because there's no dialogue. There's much less dialogue involved.
Correct.
Right? Okay? All visual. All right? Which I don't like. Anyway, right? So now, following that same principle, though, my take, this is totally my personal take. I did my own study, and I did my own practice in writing. And as a matter of fact, I sold some of my work, right? Okay, now, my experience exactly positively confirmed the American audience do not like longer dialogues.
Yes and no. Yes and no. You're right. The mainstream audience, not only in America but around the world, and that is why Hollywood is so successful. Because you see, Hollywood films have a very simple scheme in making. A screenplay has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Our literary traditions, for example, I'm a European. European literary traditions are different. So are Chinese. Because our literary tradition, they tend to go from A to B, not to A to from A to D, and then go back to B, and then may go to C. They're convoluted. And that is the success of American films, because you may see or look at an American movie and not speak English, but basically you understand what's going on.
Yeah.
That's because of that very simple formula.
Not only actions can be more understood, but also the fact are sometimes situation can replace the dialogue.
Right.
It speaks up.
Situation
right?
comedy, for example.
I can look at you. I can look at you in a way that is not supposed to be appropriate.
Right.
And why? There goes the question.
Right.
Right. Goes the question. Something like that. I give you an example. Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2, when John McClane playing
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis playing John McClane. Right? After his fight, all the fight on the ground though, and finally his wife's airplane makes a landing, right? And then everything was over. During the tail of the story though, they run to each other. And then when they hug, the wife says, I heard there was a fight on the ground. You know what John McClane said? I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that too. 4 words, right? It concentrates everything.
Right.
Even the man's character.
Right.
And the wife said, oh, John, what am I going to do with you? Like that kind of thing. Oh, John.
But you see,
that's the dialogue, that's the conversation. That's the American way.
Yeah, but you see, that's the audience is very big. There are those who want action films. I personally think, and I have been proven again and again,
I know.
that action films.
I'm thinking about it in the Chinese way, in the Chinese kung fu way, kung fu film way. This male character, John McClane, will say, "Oh yeah, there came a guy on my back. I put him on the ground, and there came another. I kick him in the butt." Something like that. Describe the fighting.
Yes, but you see, that's one audience, and yes, that may be a mass audience. But I'm telling you, I am a little bit different because as an independent filmmaker, I wouldn't know what to do with $100 million to make a film, but I know very well what to do with little money.
With 20 million, with 10 million.
And so I believe very much in emotions. And I will tell you, when I started 10, 12 years ago, the Mysterious China series, everybody asked me and said, Chris, what do you want with this? China, what is this? It's nothing. Meanwhile, these films are very well established in America on television and in the internet. They're being broadcast again and again. This week, my film, you remember, Burma Road, Flying Tigers, is playing in the San Francisco area, reaching, thousands, millions of
You may
homes.
try Discovery Channel.
No, they are all on television channels.
Okay,
being
anyway, we're
broadcast.
way over time, my dear friend. I'll ask my friend Jonathan do me a favor to cut myself off. Okay, my dear lovely audiences, see you next time.
再见。